pose just in case. Live. Okay, Matt, are we on?
Done, yeah.
Okay, well, hello everyone. Welcome again to the Betsy Freeman Booking Show. Our topic today is social media. And of course, in the world that we live in now, you can't avoid it. So get ready for some fun and some pointers. And please feel free to throw us some questions. Before we start, I'd love for you to get to know our lovely panelists. So we're gonna go around and everybody please feel free to mention your name, what you do, and where you're at or where you're from. Tat, let's start with you.
Hi, I'm Beraud. Well, that's my artist name. I'm a singer-songwriter and I'm an actor and I live in Los Angeles, California.
Fantastic. Shane, you're next.
Hello, my name is Shane Donovan. I guess I am now an up-and-coming actor potentially too. Funny how Los Angeles works that out. And I am an unhealthily obsessed LGBT plus TikToker. And I live in LA, as I said.
Cool, cool. And David.
Hello, my name is David Diaz. I am, as Flo mentioned before we went live, a unicorn from LA, born and raised. I am a singer, songwriter, artist, and an actor. I think last time I said you should ask me what I don't do because I feel like that list is probably shorter than what I do. I'm a personal trainer, doing all of the hustling or whatever we have to all do before we make it or whatever. So, hi.
So true, guys. Welcome to LA, the city of like hyphens. You know, you meet people with so many talents and forget like triple threat. It's like quadruple, 5-time, 6-time, 7-time threat. That's the beautiful thing about like being in La La Land. So without further ado, let's hop into questions. So Shane, I'm going to start with you. Did somebody say something?
No, I said okay.
Okay. Oh, you did. Okay. So back on track. So TikTok and Clubhouse are like the newest, apps, right? So Shane, what would you say would be your best pointers for like TikTok per se?
Well, I think the biggest thing with TikTok is first you need to kind of figure out why you're on the app to start with. If you're just using TikTok to watch videos and just have fun, then it's really not that serious. Post whatever you want to, whatever you're having fun with, whatever brings you joy. If you're trying to bring a personal brand to TikTok and hopefully make it into being a business and a content creator, then you have to pay attention to not only what's trending, but how you can bring yourself into your own content. I've been on TikTok for a little over a year. I have over 250,000 followers, and my category is LGBT plus. I, from very early on, started educating the youth on what it is, and then I also try to entertain as well. That's what I do. I'm not one of the TikTok dancers, but if a TikTok dance is trending, I might take something from that and bring it to my own video. And that's why you want to be very up to date. This is an app where if you're really trying to make it on TikTok, you're going to live on that app. You unfortunately will not be able to open it just once and hope that all your dreams come true. It is a lot of hard work, but it's really just trial and error. Pay attention to what you see. And if you think you have an idea, try it. If it doesn't work a couple of times, try something else.
So Shane, I've got another question for you. Would you say, because for example, like Instagram stars and YouTube stars, and I've heard a lot of YouTube stars say that it has become their full-time work, right? Because like, as you mentioned, you have to be on it like every day and come up with like new ideas, new posts. So would you say that that's the same thing with TikTok, where it's like, you got to commit. You can't just dip your toe in there. Like if you want to like gain more numbers, you got to commit and be on there every day and keep, watching. Mm-hmm. So would you say that's the same thing?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I think once you've really built up a profile, like there are accounts that have like 25 million followers, they can get away with posting once where, they burp into the camera and 3 million people cheer. It does. Once you're at that point, you don't really have to try as hard, but they've already built up who they are. When you're getting started, yeah, you're going to be on there a lot. You're going to, because you want to engage with the audience. That's the biggest thing with TikTok, which is very different than I think a lot of the other platforms. It's very hard not to respond to comments. It's very hard not to follow other people. So you have to make an actual effort to try to do everything wrong you can when you're starting out. They give you the tools, but if you're going to choose to not respond and not follow back and not be engaging, then yeah, it's just not going to go anywhere, because TikTok is very much based on people that like to interact with those creators. That's why I think it's such a big platform for people, is because it's one of the easiest ways to talk to anybody that has a TikTok, because the second that video hits your For You page, they might see your comment. You never know.
Beraud, what are your thoughts on TikTok? And I'm going to slide Clubhouse into there. If any of you guys have any thoughts on Clubhouse too, what are your thoughts on TikTok, Beraud?
Well, Clubhouse, I really am loving. I didn't think I would, because it's not a visual medium. It's like what is it called? Audible medium? I don't listen to podcasts or anything, but there's like so much like information on Clubhouse right now. Like casting directors are on Clubhouse, like just giving free advice like all day, like morning, afternoon, and night. So I think if you're like in the entertainment industry, the Clubhouse is definitely a really, really good resource. As for TikTok, I just started TikTok like in August, and I didn't start taking it seriously till like November. And like I've noticed that what Shane said is absolutely right. You need to know what the trends are and like steal those trends and like make sure you're doing them as early as possible in order for the algorithm to work in your favor. But yeah, you basically kind of have to live on the app to like really be successful at it. Although I've seen some people just say they randomly blew up, but I have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. So
okay, so I'm gonna so Shane and Beraud, do you guys ever find that exhausting? You know what I mean? Like I respect the way you guys are like, okay, I'm taking this seriously, but do you find it exhausting being like, okay, I need to watch the trends, I need to post every day, or is it fun? Like, does it feel like work? And especially like if you tack on, you know what I mean, like let's say a day job or whatever, like working shifts and blah blah blah, and then being like, oh my gosh, I haven't posted on TikTok yet today, or put my video on YouTube. Do you guys find that exhausting? Like, how do you keep? Do you know what I mean?
Do you want to go first, Beraud, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I personally don't, but that's just because I am addicted to the internet. Like ever since I was a teenager, I was like on the internet all day. Like before that, it was TV, because like that was like my way to interact with people. So I love it. Like it's something I would be doing anyway, even if I like wasn't trying to create stuff for it. So like for me personally, it's not exhausting. It's like, and I can feel good about it because I'm like, oh, I'm doing research. I'm not wasting time. I'm doing research right now. So like, but that's just me. I know a lot of people are like way different than me.
I actually find it beyond exhausting. When I started, it was a lot more fun. And then it got to the point where what happens with TikTok is like, you know, like she was saying, you know, she just kind of gets started. She's got a couple hundred followers, so she's getting started. When you start kind of building up the pipeline, and I'm still considered a micro influencer, what I am, but you start getting brand offers and you start getting paid content and more opportunities. And then it's even more of a hook, because you're like, I'm this close to something really big. And so you feel you have to keep going. In all honesty, I just signed with representation as an actor. And a big part of that was because of my TikTok. That's what I was able to pitch, is that I'm a TikTok creator, because it's what's in. If I didn't do that, I don't think I would have got the responses I did. But a lot of times I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to post. I don't know what I'm going to post. Like many times I'll say, it's like, I hate this, but I know that I'm addicted and I'm hooked. And I know that in terms of social media for me right now, it's the only platform that's moving at all.
I love how real you guys are. I love that honesty. That's just, and I think, Beraud, I think the good thing is that you're like, I love it and I'm doing it because I love it. And I think what sucks is when people do it, you know, they may hate it, but they're like, okay, but everybody else is doing it, I'm doing it. So I love the way you're like, okay, I love it. So, hey, this doesn't work. And Shane, I think you mirror so many people out there who are like, especially in entertainment, who are like, yo, if I weren't an actor or if I weren't a singer or a comedian, I would not be doing this every day, right? So I love your honesty with that. David, okay, so David, do you have any tips or points with regards to TikTok or Clubhouse? And how do you feel about like, you know, sometimes maybe the pressure or the, like, you know, to stay on top of, like, for example, TikTok, Clubhouse, IG, Facebook, you name it. What are your thoughts of this? Love for you to weigh in.
I mean, I've been on all the different social medias over the course of time or whatever, but right now, currently, I'm not on them. I'm not actively using them. I think that initially, like when Instagram came around and it was sort of like this big, I mean, it still is a big thing, so I'm not saying it's not, but it became really overwhelming for me because so many people that I knew were like, even people who weren't in entertainment, just like other people who were just friends and they weren't pursuing anything in entertainment, had so many more followers than me. And I'm like, wow, like they're just an average person who like has all these followers, and I'm somebody trying to like actually make it in entertainment and I have like nobody following me. It felt very overwhelming. Mm-hmm. And so I mean, that might be a different conversation, but I came to a place where like I kind of have let that go. Not that I've let go my social media presence, but that I've let go of like, I have something that I'm creating. I'm a musician, I'm an actor. And if maybe perhaps for me personally, not for everyone, but for me, maybe that isn't the way that like, maybe that isn't one of my paths to my success. Maybe it is, I don't know. I'm not closed off to it, but I think certain people and certain personalities really are drawn towards those platforms, and other personalities are drawn towards seeing some of those people in those platforms. I don't know that my personality is that. Like, I don't, you know, I don't want to post every day. I don't want to like, I don't always have these like ideas of like, oh, I don't have the eye for like, yeah, like this or that. Or like I have friends who like always have pictures of themselves. I'm like, I don't have like a personal photographer with me all the time. I don't know how somebody's always like there to take pictures of you. No offense, but like that's not me, you know. And I'm also not, I don't think that way either. Like even in my personal life, I don't take pictures of myself very often. So like it isn't, my head doesn't go there first to like, yeah, get that shot of me over there. Like I don't think like that. So that's why I say like, I don't think that like my personality is lends itself to like being super successful there. I was on TikTok for a while. Well, I still am on TikTok, but I watch it more. I don't actually actively post. And part of the reason was because it was really, really fun at first for me. Like I was creating content. I was making videos. I was setting things up. I was editing everything. I was putting in all of the work. And it was super, super fun because I was making like funny videos, you know, or well, I thought they were funny. But the things it was enjoyable to me, you know. Yeah. But like I was getting some hits, but not like it just kind of fell flat, you know. It felt like a lot of effort and a lot of work for like little to no reward. And so I kind of just stopped, you know, because it just felt like I was putting so much effort in and I wasn't getting anything back from it. And not to say that it wasn't fun or that the content that I was creating I didn't enjoy, or that it wasn't coming from, like it really was coming from my heart. I enjoyed it. It just, the effort that I was putting in, I was like, I think I can put this effort into other things, mm-hmm. like writing music or whatever, like really putting more of that precious time into things that I know will have some sort of reward mm-hmm. at some point. Mm-hmm. Or even, you know, my career with acting, with taking classes and, you know, pursuing that and whatever. And so, yeah, I don't know. I'm a sort of like the opposite spectrum, you know, like which I guess maybe is good for this show, you know, like yeah. For some people to see where everyone sort of falls and where they want to be, you know. And as far as Clubhouse, I have used Clubhouse a little bit. I'm not super active on there, but yes, just to echo what Beraud was saying, that yeah, there are a lot of casting directors on there. And I even had a friend who, I'm not sure if they were doing like a Dreamgirls, if they were going to be doing the show on Clubhouse, or if it was literally auditions for, you know, a show. But literally there were like 5,000 people in the waiting room waiting to like audition, like for all of the parts. And he was there and he auditioned, and Cheryl Lee Ralph was there. I don't know who else was there, but you know, like all of these people. And it was just like So I mean, that's kind of a big deal, you know, like that. Like if that doesn't bring the whole world together, like you know, that's crazy. Because I mean, you could literally be like, I don't know, like in Japan, and be like, I can't get to LA for an audition, but if you're on Clubhouse, you've got an audition. You know, like that's pretty cool, right?
Welcome to the millennium. That's dope. That's amazing. So David, you took the words out of my mouth. I love how we have such an eclectic panel, like different people representing different voices and perspectives, because it's like not every, like there's like guaranteed somebody out there who totally gets what, you know, Shane said or Beraud said or what you said, David. And that's great, right? To know that, oh my gosh, somebody else thinks or understands when, you know, like what I'm thinking or going through. And I'm similar to you, David, in the way that like, not just the fact that, you know, I'm an artist, singer, songwriter, but for me, maybe you can call it stubbornness or not, but I only post when I'm inspired, meaning that if I am walking like the streets of LA, for example, and I see like an amazing billboard or just something that speaks to me, then that's when I'm going to take that picture and pop it on Instagram or Facebook. And but I'm not one of those people that I'm all about, I'm going to use that like overused word, authenticity. But to me, it's like, I feel like if I'm going to post something, it needs to be something where I have something to say, you know, and I have something I want to share, whether I'm like, you know, angry about something or I'm like in awe and I'm like, oh my goodness, this touched me and I wanted to touch other people, you know, just in case it touches people the way it touched me. Right. So I just can't. I remember the first time, I think it was a John Mayer with, it was hilarious, but I don't know if it was Instagram. It was Instagram where he like, I guess, or Twitter or Instagram, but a picture of like an orange juice. And he's like, yeah, last carton of orange juice in the fridge. Right. And because he's John Mayer, but he's like, oh my goodness. For me, I was like, orange juice. Didn't need to post about orange, but everybody's different, right? So everybody's different. Okay, so next question. What is the best way to deal with the competitiveness and the comparison that social media breeds? Beraud, we're gonna start with you. What are your thoughts?
I mean, just don't do it. Don't compare yourself if you can. Like, everybody's different. I don't know. Comparison and what? What was the other thing?
Basically, like, you know, how people can get competitive with like, this person had this amount of likes, this person had this amount of views, this person's video is going viral, blah, blah, blah. And it's a real thing because I have, my gosh, like I've met strangers, have close friends, acquaintances who've all said the same thing, that they will scroll through other people's feeds and see these gorgeous pictures, or see that, like, if you're an artist or an actor, see that this person's getting that role, or this person.
No, but I love that. I love that. Like, especially if they're like my friends, like I'm gonna write on their coattails, you know, like if they're successful, like that gives me hope. I'm like, oh, I can be that too. Like we started together, you know, or like if they're successful, that means like they can maybe take me along with them. Like if they ever need like a songwriter or whatever, like, you know, like that's great. Like I love seeing people like succeed, because like if they're succeeding, I'm succeeding too, you know, because they're my friends. Like I don't understand people who are like, oh my gosh, this person like is getting way more ahead than I am. Like great, because like then that person can like help you or like teach you or like can be your mentor, or like you could just learn from them. So like I think it's awesome. Like I want my friends to blow up because like they're my friends, you know, I care about them, I love them. And like, you know, maybe they'll like let me tag along too, you know?
That is, I'm going to say that's such a healthy mindset. I'm going to be very real because I'm usually an idealist. I'm not a realist, but the vast majority of people do not think the way you do. If the whole world did, though. It is crazy, but there's a lot of people who are dealing with anxiety or depression or this or that because of like, there's statistics, there's like studies, which is why they're saying that like it's the pros and cons of social media and technology, but like, it's weighing heavily on a lot of people because of that comparisonitis or, you know, that competitiveness. Shane, what are your thoughts with regards to that question?
Well, party of anxiety, depression. Hello. Thank you for calling me. So first of all, I am nowhere near as nice as Beraud apparently with my friends. Cause I mean, like, yes, I'm happy for them, but I'm always like, crap, when's my turn? Like that's always going to be the case. I think with the competition, and the reason I think it becomes such a problem, Flo, is what I was talking about earlier is if social media didn't transcend into anything else other than just online views, it would not matter that much. But we all know that people have been discovered for TV shows, for movies, for these opportunities from social media. So when you have only to gain and nothing to lose, sure. But when you're like on that cusp, that's when it becomes that competitive mindset. And it does get hard. You know, like I have friends that have like 800,000 followers and I'm like, what? He's a funny gay guy. Like I've done similar stuff. People also have to realize on social media and in acting in general, a huge portion is the luck. A massive portion is the right time and being lucky. That is a massive portion of it. It's also all about the look. We all look different, you know, especially with TikTok, depending on when you post can sway results 100%. You can post something 3 times and get different view amounts every single time. So I think, you know, I wish I had a great answer for how to handle, you know, the competitiveness, but it's really just understanding that it's not necessarily you're doing something wrong. It's just, it might not be the right time. It might just be the wrong situation. You might not be doing the right content. It doesn't mean that you're less of a person, but I totally get why it's such an issue. And that's why I do agree. I mean, you know, I grew up in the 90s. I much rather go back to the time period where I was like Blockbuster and, you know, AOL Instant Messenger. I didn't have stress then. You know, I was a kid, but I didn't have stress then. I shouldn't have stress and depression from doing TikTok. But when it's the thing that holds you away from reaching where you want to go sometimes, it's really hard not to feel that way.
Man, you guys are giving some great answers. David, what are your thoughts?
I think, I mean, you know, when I see friends who are gaining success, you know, of course, as Shane mentioned, I'm happy for them as well. But there also is that sort of, you know, Beraud is sort of like the exception to the rule, like you mentioned, Flo. But I mean, that's great. That's something that we should all aspire to really feel. I think the majority of the world sort of when you ask that question, I think it's more geared towards not necessarily our circle of friends, but like when we just sort of go down the rabbit hole of like people we don't know and they're like blowing up and you're like, man, why isn't that me? Or I did that, or I did something similar. Like, how come, you know, when is it like my turn or time or whatever? And something that I've really, if I can just give maybe just a little bit of encouragement to somebody watching, like one of the things that I've really sat with and sort of tried to live with now is that my life is mine, and I'm the only person who will ever live my life. No one will ever live my life except me. And that's a huge gift in and of itself. And I want my success. I don't want anyone else's success. I want to live every moment, every part of my journey. I want to experience that. And yes, I want success, and I believe that I will achieve it, but I want mine. When I see somebody else on Instagram or TikTok or whatever platform, I don't want theirs. So if I see, or if I start to feel any sort of jealousy or, you know, like why, that doesn't matter. That's theirs. It belongs to them. And it's not mine. I want mine, and I want to experience mine. I don't want whatever their journey is, because their journey whatever their success is, whatever their success in their journey is, would not be enjoyable to me because it's not my experience. So if I could just, you know, hopefully people will take that in just a little bit, and, you know.
That's great. And you know what, you guys, like, I'll never forget, like I heard, I don't know if this is last year or the year before, but somebody had mentioned that like social media, we can't forget, is like the highlight reels, right? It's like, it's almost like you see that like picture perfect family, you know what I mean? And it's like Barbie and Ken with their kids, you know, and it's like, oh my gosh, but you never see the moments between when the kids are smacking each other or crying, or mom is like, quiet, or dad is like, come on, right? You only see that, hi, right? So it's like everything from Instagram to Facebook to it's like, it's usually like the picture perfect like pose on the beach. It's not that nobody's going to put the craziness in between. So it's like, we can't look at, you know, like people's pages and really believe that their life is that perfect. Everybody picks the pictures and puts the filter and blah, 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 right? So we have to remember that. David, I'm going to start with you. How do you, this question goes on the tail of what I just mentioned. It's similar, but it's slightly different. How do you prevent the obsession of focusing on the numbers game? Meaning, like, for some people, like the amount of likes, the amount of subscribers, and the amount of views, and not just, you know, because some people get like all wound up, you know what I mean? Like that, again, this person they know has that amount, that person, and start almost like obsessively thinking, what can I do? Or if they post a picture or video that they're proud of and they're like, I'm so gonna get a whole bunch of likes and views, and they end up getting like 5. And they're like, what the hell? Yeah. I don't understand this. How, like, what do you recommend? Like, how do you prevent that spiraling like rabbit hole of obsession?
I mean, I think that if you're like really at that point, dare I say, like, maybe get off of it for a while, you know, like just mute your notifications, delete the app for a week or longer if you need to. I've done it. There were times in the past where like I was just spending way too much time on Facebook, and actually part of the reason why at that time it was because of like I was just seeing so many things that I was like, oh, this or that, or this was making me upset, or you know, other people were like experiencing their successes and I was just like, oh man, or just things going on in my life that I was like, how come that's happening for that person? How come they're happy? You know, which I'm not in that place anymore. That's terrible, you know, to be like, why is that person happy? You know, but I had to get off for a while, you know, I had to deactivate my account. And I've done the same thing with like Instagram, you know, I've deleted it. You know, I still have my account. I didn't delete my account, but, you know, I would, you know, just get rid of the app for a while. And I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe for some people that's really difficult because as easily as you can delete it, you can just download it again. You know, if you're like addicted or you just really want to see it, you know, you can get it back instantly as you got rid of it. So I don't know that I have like a therapist's answer response, but that's what I've done. I just, you know, I'm at the point now where I just, you know, if I don't feel like going on, I don't go on, you know. I don't know if the other panelists have better options.
Well, you know, I'm gonna hop to them, but I do want to say that's a fantastic response because I've actually met a lot of people who, just like some people are like, I'm gonna cut out like sugar for 2 weeks, or I'm gonna cut out like I'm gonna stop using my credit card for a month, or I'm gonna, you know, stop using makeup for blah blah blah, right? I've heard a lot of people who've actually been like, I'm going to step away from social media for like a week or a month, or one person did like 3 months. And
I've done longer than that. I've done like 6 months. Yeah.
Right. And some people have told me, they're like, oh my gosh, like better relationships. I actually went out more often and went for more hikes, like, you know, read more, learned more. So it's like, and if you need that break from whatever is kind of like obsessively pulling at you, I think it's good to step away. So I think that's actually that's a really like good and awesome response, and like gives perspective. Shane, what are your thoughts? And I could reread the question. How do you prevent the obsession of focusing on the numbers game with social media?
I mean, I think honestly, David said it, like if you are not in a good, healthy mind space and you're like, I don't want to be on this app, don't be on the app. Yeah. Don't post, don't focus on it. And I will say, like, I've been unemployed for over a year. I really haven't had much going on. So for me, I wake up, I do stuff with my dog. I, you know, take him on walks, stuff like that. I don't really have anything happening for me other than TikTok. So if you can preoccupy yourself with something, even if it's something else related to entertainment, watch more TV, watch more movies, play more video games. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I have a much better mood when I spend all day watching movies than I spend all day on TikTok, because you're constantly striving for that accomplishment of this big hit video. And it rarely will happen, at least in my case. So if you can preoccupy yourself to find something else you enjoy, do it. When I started TikTok, I had a job. So it was something that was more when I had downtime. Yet I would check it a lot, but I wasn't constantly focused on posting. But we have to remember this time period, this is a pandemic. So a lot of people are in the situation that I've been, where what do I have to do? You know, like I leave my house like an hour a day because of my dog. You know, like I don't have anything going on. So for me, it's like I sit there I will try to not use my phone as much. And I'm like, oh crap, I just checked it without even realizing I did it. But the one thing I will say is you don't necessarily need to put a time frame into like, oh, I'm not going to be on it for a week. I'm not going to be on it for a day. Just don't use it, and use it when you want to. And when you feel like you want to, if you have an urge, go to it. Don't put don't fast on it. You know what I mean? Because sometimes that doesn't work.
You know what? I love what both you, Shane, and David had said. And I think that's my approach to it, in the way that I use it when I want to. I'm not obsessed, by it. So if there's something I want to express and share with people, I use it. If not, I'm not worried about it. Because again, it goes back to what you had mentioned, David, in the way that I trust with my creativity and the things that I'm creating. That'll say something for itself, right? Where I don't need to worry about pushing things forward with YouTube or, or Instagram or TikTok or whatever, right? So to me, social media is an added accessory, an added way to connect with people and express with people, but not, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to use it, or I need to check everything, because that just gets unhealthy. Beraud, what are your thoughts on the question? And let me know if you want me to reread it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with if you don't want to be on social media, don't be on social media. That's not the only way to build a career. And I honestly think it's one of the harder ways to build a career, If you're a songwriter, you should be focusing on becoming a better songwriter, collaborating with people. Yep. I don't get work from social media. I get these scam, people that are oh, we want you to represent our brand, first buy our product. We'll give you 20%. It's all scams. For me, because I'm not a big influencer yet. So I get work because I create stuff. If I release a song with somebody else and it's great, people will contact me from that song, not because they saw my social media and liked it, So focus on other things. There's plenty of really successful actors who don't have Instagram, they don't have TikTok, they don't have anything, and they're super successful. You don't need social media to be successful. So if it's not something that you really love to do, don't do it. And if you don't feel like doing it one day, don't do it. If you don't feel like doing it all month, don't do it. I do it because I like it, not because I think it's gonna blow up my career. Do I hope it'll blow up my career? Yeah, but that's not why I'm doing it, if I didn't love to do it, I would be focusing more on other stuff, Also, I wanted to talk about the highlight reel thing, because this is why I love TikTok so much. People are rebelling on it, about rebelling against it, especially on TikTok. People are showing their skin without any filters, without makeup. People are showing that after you have a baby, apparently you're in diapers. I didn't know any of this. They're being so raw and honest on TikTok, and I'm so here for it. I love it.
That's what I was going to say that about TikTok, actually, is that, it seems like the anti-Instagram in a sense, because it feels like everybody who's, maybe not everyone, but I would say the majority of the people who have blown up on TikTok are just really being very authentically themselves.
Wow.
And I'm not to say that no one on Instagram has been authentically themselves, but it just seems like a lot of the people who are really, really big influencers are the people who are these beautiful people who are taking pictures in Tahiti and stuff. And you're really though, how are you able to do that? And, or just crazy stuff, or people who are already famous or whatever. And with TikTok, it's felt very, very just mostly very genuine people who are just creating, being very authentic, even if they're doing comedic things or things that are more scripted for them, it still feels just very authentic.
Man, you guys, it's about time. Okay, it just makes me so happy to hear that. It's about time. Thank goodness. Okay, Shane, I'm going to start with you. How do you handle the lulls of trying to figure out what to post daily?
Well, I mean, that's kind of similar to what we were talking about, just now. It's kind of a little bit more to that question. The thing is, again, depends on what you're posting. I'm very envious of the people that love dance, that do dance TikToks and singing TikToks and, have the marbles that are racing and you're trying to figure out which one's going to go in first. That's super easy to make a TikTok every single day. It's incredibly easy. But when you're I do lifestyle, LGBT plus, eventually you start running out of gay stuff to talk about. So it gets very hard because you get in the challenge of, I want to post something that's going to resonate with my following, but I also want to post about something that's going to have a big reaction. And that's sometimes you can't, you know, like as I've started to many days now, I'm just like, I don't have anything to post and I'm not going to stress because I know it's not going to do well. So I'm not going to post and I don't. And then if something comes up where I feel I need to address it, which is kind of what happens a lot, then I will make a post about it. I have moods where I want to, moods where I don't. But the thing with TikTok, especially too, and not to dampen the parade of, you know, everybody being happy that real people are on there. Yes, but we also have to remember the people we see are the ones we're following and the ones that are on our For You page. And everybody's For You page is different because it's videos catered towards you. So I see, as a gay person, and I follow a lot of other gay people, I see a lot of the, you know, the sexual content, you know, the sexual jokes, the, you know, the hot bodies. There's not a lot of the, they don't come across my screen as much. You will see real people, but TikTok works for people that have big personalities. Those are often the ones that have very big followings or something very specific about them that they're doing that others aren't. Like I think Tabitha Brown, she's the one that just got her own show. She was the vegan chef, big personality, and she showed you how to cook. Well, those are two things that you can consistently do a lot of, you know, but then you have other people that it's a niche and it's selective, but it's hard to keep making consistent content. So again, if you need a break, take a break. You know, it's not healthy to have these, oh, let me jot down this idea constantly. I do my best thinking in the shower sometimes. And that's when my ideas will come to me. You know, you can't force an idea. You can think about things and it'll click or it doesn't.
Well said, Shane. Because like from my perspective, it gets exhausting. And for me,
it does.
Right? I'm one of those people that inspiration just dries up if I'm forced, right? So if it feels like homework, then the passion gets sucked away, right? So I love what you just mentioned. Beraud, any thoughts on that? Like dealing with the lull of trying to figure out what to post daily?
Yeah, I feel like I get more writer's block when I'm actually like writing music. Like, on like stuff like TikTok, it's like you can just like be yourself or like do whatever you want. Like you can literally just like, I like made a TikTok about like how my roommate put like my cup way too high and I couldn't reach it. Like that got like more views than a lot of my other TikToks at the time. So like, it's never like a problem for me to like think of stuff, but also I'm not like a big creator too. So like, I also don't feel like I have to like do a certain thing and like something that's going to be like really responsive to like my particular fan base, because I don't really like have a fan base yet. So I honestly just do whatever I want. I'll like be browsing TikTok and be like, oh, that's a really good idea, and I'll save the video and then like do it later. And like it's so random too, because like my biggest view to TikTok was like a TikTok I like randomly made at like 10 p.m. after I like asked one of my old professors for a recommendation. It was like with the Caillou sound, and it was like me having the audacity to ask this professor that like barely knows me for recommendation. And then the professor was like, yeah, I'd love to. And I'm like, oh my God, now I actually have to apply to grad school. And that got like it has like 98,000 views so far. And it has nothing to do with my other contact. Like none of my other content has anything to do with grad school. So like, it's so random. So honestly, I just post whatever I want. And I'm like a huge attention whore. So like, I never like run out of like wanting to like post on there, even if it's like stupid stuff that's like really selfish and like not like really like giving anything to anybody. Like it's still like just for me. But yeah, I get more like writer's block when like actually doing important things like writing a song, you know, 'cause I guess there's more pressure on that, you know, at least for me.
I think like what's coming to my mind, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, I think if it's natural and it's fun for you, then like maybe some of the other stuff that seems like maybe that just like you're meant for TikTok. You know what I mean? Like if it's just like, if it's fun, like Bob Dylan had this quote that I'll never forget. I'm paraphrasing because he says it's just so much more eloquently, but he said that he hopes and wishes that everybody, their job is the equivalent of a kid playing in a sandbox, you know, that everybody should be doing what is like fun. And so, but you're going to say something, Beraud.
I will say something though about that is when I did start my songwriting journey, I wrote a lot more music, like a lot. But that's because I didn't realize how bad I was. So like I allowed myself to like write a bunch of really bad songs. I'm like, these are awesome. And like looking back, like they're all really bad. So I think it's also something where like you're new to something and you just don't care. Of course, you're going to have way more ideas. But then suddenly when that is like high stakes and you're like, this song has to be like perfect and it has to be like, it has to be catchy, it has to be good. Like that's when you kind of start like running out because you're trying to be like more specific and like you really want your stuff to be good. Like right now, I'm not at the level of my TikTok career where I want everything to be good. So I'm like, whatever. But yeah, I think the more you start building, like maybe you'll start like feeling like it has to be good and you'll get less ideas. But also
Bingo.
like if I have any videos to post, I'll just post old content because I've made like so much content over like the past decade just for my acting stuff. So like I have like way too much stuff I need to post up there.
That's good that you have stuff to like, you know, like pull on or tap into kind of thing. But here's the thing. I've heard, you know, because I love music, that's where I've like focused most, but I've heard this with actors too. But for example, with music, I've heard a lot of artists say that when they first started out, when they were just doing music, just to experiment, just for fun, like the beginning of their career, that's when the best stuff came out. And at the end, when the stakes were high, when there's so much pressure, blah, 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 they felt like things dried up more, right? So I think for me, what I'm taking away from what you're saying and what makes sense is that I think that we have to, like, the magic comes most when even like, whether you're beginning, mid, or the end, but you, it should be fun. You know what I mean? It should be something that you love, because if it's like, if there's that pressure where it's like, oh my gosh, this is my sophomore album, or this is the third album. And I think, was it Taylor Swift? Somebody, I was watching an interview and she said, yeah, it was Taylor Swift. She said that after her first album, the sophomore slump where like they compared the second one to the first one, and they compared the third to the, so there's always that comparison, right? And so I think, and there's that pressure. So I think as creatives, whether it be social media or acting or music or dance or whatever, I think one of the most important things is to never lose the fun, never lose the magic, because all that pressure and all it just sucks it out. You know what I mean? But anyways, Shane, bro, you mentioned some amazing stuff. Shane, what are your thoughts on that question? Or did I? Yeah, I already did.
Yeah,
my bad. David, what are your thoughts about handling the
I don't post very often, so I got nothing.
But here's the thing, like I am similar to you, that like when I post, it's because I want to, you know, like it's not, I have a friend who, though her goal is to be like a social media, like mobile kind of thing, right? So she has like a stash of pics on her phone. So, and quotes, right? So that when she has a day where she can't think of something, she'll connect that like 50th or 100th picture that she hasn't used with that quote on there, right? So she's got it organized. And for me, I'm like, that's impressive, but that's exhausting. Yeah. For me, I'm like, no, it has to be just, I'm like, not that she's not, but I'm like, I want for it to be authentic, where it's like, I'm taking that picture because it just hit me and blah, 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 right? Okay, so.
I can add one thing to that.
Yeah, please do.
The one thing I just want to say, I mean, I think what sums it up a lot is, honestly, if inspiration turns to perspiration, it loses all meaning. And that's the biggest thing. It's like when you start to sweat because you're worried about what to post, then that aha moment becomes a calculated aha, and it's not as sincere. And that's a lot of traps that we all fall into. Like I said, I remember the days, like how Beraud was saying, like, you know, where you just posted whatever you wanted to, and it was just whatever, because you didn't know, you know, like whatever, if it works, it works. But then I get to the point where I'm like, okay, now I have followings that want me to do this kind of stuff, and they're following me because of this. So I can't really do this because it's outside of my box, because I'll lose following. So then it loses that excitement. I mean, you know, like think about all the music artists, because we talk about music a lot. You know, they do something that's different. They're like, what the hell was that? What was, ew. Yeah. Like, why did they do this? I didn't like that. Yeah. And it, you know, they try to do something else. And sometimes you can't branch out as much as you would like to.
Yeah. My goodness. Okay. So I'm going to start with you, Shane. How do you balance the temptation of too much screen time? You know, right? There's so many people who are saying that like it's literally becoming an addiction. And there's some people who honestly, it's almost like, you know, I don't want to say, well, the screen is almost like crack, right? Like, they're like, I'm going to give myself a week. I'm not going to touch this. And then they find themselves like, oh my God, I'm bored, or I need to, right? So how do you, there's people, it's a real challenge for them, they can't even turn their phone off when they're sleeping. So how would you recommend like balancing like the temptation of like a lot of screen time?
Well, I mean, I'm fully addicted to my phone. I couldn't even tell you how many hours I'm on my phone. But again, I'm also the type that if I have something else I'm doing, I don't have to be on my phone. Like I can be out with my friends and I don't have to be on my phone. If something else can take up my time that I'm enjoying, then I'm not going to go to that toxin, which is constantly on my phone. So if you have, surround yourself with friends, have fun activities, try and do what you can. But again, we're still in the tail end of this pandemic. So it's not like the world has fully opened. So what else do you have other than your phone? That's how you connect with people. You can't just go out and see people right now as freely. So it is challenging, but like I said before, just find something else that you can, even if it's inside, do something that takes you at least away from the social media screen.
Yeah, that's good. David, what are your thoughts on balancing like too much screen time with like life in general, life outside of the screen?
Well, I think, I don't want to speak for everybody, but most of us have an iPhone these days. And at least I do as well. And there is a setting on the phone where you can set a time limit for different apps, that if you don't want to spend too much time on it, whatever it is, maybe it's not even social media, maybe other people spend a lot of time on different apps, but you can set a time limit and it'll say, okay, it's time to turn it off. If you're really, really addicted, then you can just like ignore the notification and keep using it. But it's there. I guess they say, what do they say? The first step is admitting that you have a problem. So like, if you're like there, like doing it, making that putting that setting in, like you're kind of like, okay, at least it's there, right? They put it there. And I'm assuming probably on Androids, they have that as well. I've done that before and it was helpful, but kind of like Shane just said, I'm on my phone quite a bit. But in times when I need to be present, it's not a problem for me to put it down, or I don't need to turn it off, but if I'm having dinner with a friend or spending time with my family, during like the pandemic, my family and I, we sort of started this, Friday night movie night, and we sit and watch a movie or movies, and I don't need to be on my phone during that time because I'm with them. But I do spend a lot of time on my phone when it's not those times. So I don't know, I guess everybody's a little different. I guess if you do feel like you have a problem, but that kind of goes back to the other thing too. Like if you feel like you really have a problem, delete the app for a while, try to stay off of it. And I don't know, maybe that goes into like bigger questions. Like, I never saw the documentary, The Social Dilemma, but maybe that's a whole nother conversation. I don't know.
I recommend, if you guys haven't seen it, watch it. And it's totally going to change your perspective, especially when you're online. You're going to be like, oh my gosh. It's a good one. But you know what, Shane and David, you tapped into something that like, it reminded me, I was watching a video of like Beyonce and Rihanna in concert, and both of them each separately like pointed out a fan, and they said, stop using your phone to watch me. Put your phone down and watch me in concert, right? And it just made me laugh because it's like, so many of us, I've done it, you know what I mean? Several times where I'm like, I need to capture this moment on my phone, but it's like, Flo, you're watching an artist that you like, right? So, and even our dinner, like parties or whatever, like we've all been out for dinner or at parties where, you know what I mean? You're with a group of friends, or maybe you're one-on-one with someone, and they like, and it's like, hi guys, can we talk? Put your phone, like, hi, let's hang out. Right. So it happens. Bro, what are your thoughts on balancing like lots of screen time with life?
I don't, but
like
that's because I don't really have a life. If I had a life, I probably would spend a lot less time on the screen, So like, I'd love to be like that person that my friends like always call up and stuff. And like, they don't call, they don't text. Like I found some game nights to go to, which is fun. But I don't really balance it. I'm totally gonna get cancer from like all the screen time. It's not really, but also like I don't really do a ton of browsing. I browse on TikTok. I don't really browse on Instagram or Facebook anymore. So a lot of my screen time is just like looking for work on Actors Access, LA Casting, browsing TikTok, making TikToks, creating stuff. And what else do I do? I know I do other stuff. I just don't. Oh, I watch a lot of YouTube videos. But yeah, I don't really try to balance it, but like if definitely like Shane said, if there is something else that's like taking my time in like the real world, like I don't need to be on my phone. So
guys, can I just say, I love the realness of this panel. I love your honesty. And Beraud, I beg to differ because you put together some freaking fantastic.
I do, because people don't do it for me, so I do it. I'm like, come on, people, like hang out with me. Like, come on.
You're such an amazing person. So I beg to differ with that. You are like the glue. You're so the glue. It's awesome. And also the way you use it for like finding jobs and creativity. Yeah, no, you're using it the right way. Okay, so guys, holy cow, we're almost at the end. This is so much fun. Why does Louis go by so quickly? So 2 more questions. I think we can fit this in. Okay, so for those of you who are in entertainment, okay, if you didn't have to do social media for entertainment career purposes or like business purposes, would you still be on it? Beraud, I think I already have the answer from you, but everybody, Beraud, I think I know your answer, but I'm gonna ask you first. So if it weren't for acting and if it weren't for music and songwriting, would you still be on it? I think I know your answer already.
So yeah, absolutely. And like, I feel like social media has like opened up so many opportunities for people to like not be limited by like where they live and like what they're doing with their life. Cause like, there's like cancer researchers blowing up on YouTube, you know, like just like spending a day with them in the lab and stuff. So it's like, it made it easier for me to like apply to grad school, even though I know grad school would take a year out of my career. And maybe if I continue and actually go into a PhD program, it might take like a long time out of my career. Cause I'm like, I can do this and I can still like perform on like social media, you know, I don't need to be on TV or like to be like in concert and stuff to get that like that desire to like would perform out, you know, because I can do this, like I can work in the lab during the day and then I can still like perform, which is awesome. So yeah, I would definitely still do it.
I hope I'm not embarrassing you, but can I just say you're such an inspiration, freaking genius creative, like who's like looking into getting her like PhD. Like, who are you, Wonder Woman? And yes, you can do it all. And I hope you do. Like, I hope you do that and continue performing, because that's just such an example to many people that like, why not tap into different interests and gifts, and like doing it that way is like so unique, but it'll be like Beraud's way, right? Like, I love it. And I think you can do it. And I say, go for it. That's amazing. Shane, what are your thoughts? If you didn't have to, use social media, to help amp up, your acting career, your influencer career, like, would you be on it if you just weren't focusing on entertainment? Would you still be doing it?
I think for sure. I mean, I think Beraud mentioned earlier, I'm an attention whore. I mean, I love attention. So, I mean, that's a big part of it. Like I like that response from people. So I definitely think I would be. I mean, I've been on social media most of my life. I mean, since I remember using MySpace, like that was like early social media. It's just turned into a much more different type now with things like TikTok and Instagram and such like that. But yeah, I mean, social media, like she said, it's how you meet people, like it's how you stay connected with other people. So I would definitely use it. I just think it would have a different meaning for why I was doing it. But I think, when you do use social media and you are an entertainer, I mean, everybody who's an entertainer has to enjoy attention somewhat, because you wouldn't do it if you hate it. It just doesn't work. But it also is almost like you're not auditioning. You're just being yourself. You've already got the part. So you're doing your life and putting it to the screen and not competing against, kind of what Dave said earlier. You're living your own life. No one else ever will. Mm-hmm. So if you like to entertain naturally and you like the attention, yeah.
Well said. David, what are your thoughts?
I think that the same way that I use it now, because I'm not actively using it for career stuff. Not that I never, ever will, but I just use it very passively right now. So I think if I wasn't in entertainment, I would probably just be using it the same way as I'm using it right now, passively.
So continue to be authentic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Love it. Guys, I can't believe this. We're in the last minutes, so we're going to leave it for an easy, fun last question. Okay. So Shane, we're going to start with you. What is your favorite platform and why?
Well, I would say my favorite platform is Facebook.
Really?
Because surprise, I told you I hate my addiction. I know I'm addicted. I like it because it helps me to connect with people and I can have conversations easily, and I enjoy that. I absolutely hate the way they run it, and I think it's trash. But I like what it originally stood for.
Yeah.
But they need a massive upgrade with how they handle things. Yeah. As far as TikTok, I love it for what I get to do and the results from it. But actually, what it is, I think, is an unhealthy addiction. So I think with social media, Facebook is the one that comes closest to what social media was originally intended for, which is to connect people and to find like-minded interests and be able to have those conversations from anywhere in the world. They just suck at how they run it.
Okay. David, how about you?
I think Facebook, Facebook probably, for the same reason that Shane mentioned. Like, it's, for me, it allows me to be a little bit more social, as you know, with people that I want to interact with and have conversations and, you know, see what's going on and be able to sort of also, like, I mean, I follow like I get a lot of my information from, sorry, it's going to sound terrible, but I get a lot of my information from Facebook as well. Like, you know, like I have notifications for things that are going on, and articles come up in my news feed, you know, not my main feed with like, you know, friends and family, but my actual news feed, you know, and not just like important things, but, you know, like, oh, you know, this happened, you know, of course, like I'm a Marvel fan. So like, you know, there's articles about this and that, you know, so I read things, I watch things, I see videos of other creators who have, you know, they're across their platforms. They have their YouTube channel. Maybe they're like a big on YouTube, but they obviously have a presence on Facebook as well. So like I get to sort of cross the streams or whatever and sort of follow a lot through that. So I would say Facebook probably.
Cool. And Beraud, we'll end with you. What is your favorite platform?
Facebook used to be my favorite back when it like first came out, and like you could see like who was in your class and stuff, but now that's like open to everyone. I hate it. And I hate how much like spam it has, because like I'll get notifications, it'll be like this person updated their status. I'm like, I don't care. I only want to see if like somebody tagged me or invited me to something. I don't care that this random person updated their status. If I want to see people's statuses, I'll just scroll. So it's like there's just so much noise on there right now that I hate it. So my favorite is TikTok, because yeah, you can find like a lot of different like subgenres and like groups, and like they're all talking about issues that they care about. At least on my For You page, like I know everyone's For You page is different.
Yeah.
But yeah, TikTok is my favorite because I also have a very short attention span. So like the short videos are really good.
It's interesting that nobody mentioned Instagram.
It used to be my favorite before TikTok.
Gotcha.
But then I found TikTok, I'm like, this is way better than Instagram.
Instagram only works now if you already have a big following somewhere else and get your followers to go there. Instagram is probably by far the hardest to try to build anything. Like I post on Instagram knowing almost nothing's going to be seen by anybody. And it's kind of because I feel like I have to post on Instagram.
Yeah.
But I think it's dead.
Oh, really?
They're trying to come back with Reels. They're trying to compete with TikTok, but it's just, you know, the people that are successful on Instagram already have a following. They're not really building big ones anymore unless they're coming from TikTok.
Gotcha. Very interesting. You guys, this is so much fun. Like, why is the time already done? Wow. This was just, it flowed. It was so fluid. We could have done this for 2 hours. You guys have been phenomenal. I hope you guys who are tuning in really enjoyed this session of the Betsy Freeman Booking Show. Keep tuning in every Sunday. More new panels and new topics. It just keeps getting better. Thank you guys for spending your Sunday with us, and see you next Sunday on BFB. Bye. And I think we're